Hey everybody, I am here and we are going to be doing a video today of harvesting pawpaws. Here with my sister, say hello. And we are down along the Susquehanna River. This is not the Susquehanna River, this is just a creek that goes into it. And we are harvesting from I think the only North American East Coast native tropical fruit, right? North American tropical fruit, there we go. So this is it kind of tastes like a custardy banana and mango-ish kind of flavor. But it's a really, really good. But they have a very short shelf life and you can only kind of get them from the trees, usually along waterways. And they don't last very long, so you got to eat them pretty much a couple days after you get them. So the only way to really pick them is to give the trees a little bit of a knock, see if anything falls off. Nothing does, move on to another tree, because that means they're not ripe, not ready to fall. Usually they grow better on the larger trees, but as you can see, they kind of overlook the creek here, which makes it pretty hard to actually harvest them. These little trees, like this size, usually don't have fruit on them yet. I think we might have lost one into the river, down into the creek there. Alright, well, first of all, let me show you what the pawpaw leaves look like so you can kind of pick your own if you ever want to. They grow in this fashion all the time. You can see how they're all kind of like that. Very large serrated leaves, or not serrated leaves, very long lobed leaves, very heavy veining. The actual fruit itself is kind of a kidney bean shape. And if I can get one without getting hit in the head by any. Oops, there's a branch. Always cover your head. Just a heads up on that. Not to be funny, just seriously cover your head. You'll get hit. The pawpaw fruit itself is kind of a kidney bean shape. And it is very soft when it's ripe. Very, very hard when it's not. So if you catch some fruit that are not ripe, they're not going to be good at all. And they don't really ripen well off the tree either. So that does make it a little difficult. Let's see, let's get over this way. I am using my, both hands, I'm using a harness today. There's one. I finally got one, so this is how I'm going to be doing my filming from here out. So this is a relatively small pawpaw. You can see what they look like. And when they have a little bit of give to them, that's how you can tell that they're good. They also smell really, really sweet. So that's another thing to kind of keep your eyes out. So this tree here is over the water. Let me give it a little bit of a shimmy. Nothing fell off of it, so let's continue up this way. This is about as big as the trees get. You can see they're not all that big around. But they're not an uncommon tree. They just usually grow much better around water sources. You can see this, obviously a creek here. Both sides, there's pawpaws. This is the very beginning of October, and September into October is about when you want to harvest them. They're usually not around much later than that, or earlier, really. They have a pretty short season, and like I said, they rot really quickly. So if you're getting them, you got to get them early on. I apologize for the violent shaking of the camera. That's the only way for me to pick them, is to shake the heck out of the trees. This would be a good thing to pick at. See if we can find any bugs. Don't worry, I'm still going to be looking. Because obviously that's what I do. There's a cockroach. See it in my hand there, I'm not sure. See right there? That is a woods cockroach, Parkablata genus. And they are one of the few native species of cockroach in the areas. Some isopods and stuff in there. It's nice rotten wood, so there's literally everything under the sun could be in here. This is super punky wood here. Oh, I got one myself.
Oh, nice.
So we got two.
Yay.
The pawpaw is not always the easiest thing to find, but they're delicious. And they make really good ice cream, apparently. I've never actually had it, I just eat the fruit. But I hear good things about it. Like I said, it's very custardy, so easy to turn into stuff like that. Love the moss growing on here. My camera will focus. There we go. They're pretty. Anyway. I apologize if the focus is not working. I still am tweaking some of the stuff that I'm doing here with the little harnessy thing that I'm using. So I don't really know how decent the shots are or not. This is the first time really using this harness to film anything. So we will see once we're done here how this turned out. So there may be most of the pawpaws in this direct area here. And kind of check down a little farther. Pawpaws usually grow together. They kind of help propagate one another. Did you check the ones up here, Jess?
Yeah, I was up in there. Shaking around. Dirt to be had in my head.
Yeah. Probably a good idea to wear bug repellent when you're doing this, because everything ever. Basically, if you don't like what's in the trees, don't do this. It's all coming down on your head. I'd like to be able to find some wintergreen growing around here too. Wintergreen being a small evergreen plant with red berries. It's not super common, but you can find some of the wild mints and other things around here too. Lots and lots of stinging nettles. Jess has some fun experiences with those. Oh hey, there's running water in the locks. See if I can walk down through here a little bit. So this is a lock system from back in the early 1800s on the Susquehanna River. They used to use animal teams and stuff like that to pull big loads up and down the river in these locks, because at the time it wasn't dammed up, so the river was a lot lower than it is now. This canal system got things where it needed to be from all the different places. Oh man. Hey, there's a little waterfall in the end there. I've never seen this much water. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I'm wearing water shoes, because it's sloppy. I don't know if you want to walk down this way. It's pretty gross. The water's not stagnant though, because it's running, literally. There's a snake. See it swimming? Now, this snake, you can see, or maybe not, depending how the camera is, it is non-venomous. You can kind of get a look for its head, the shape of its body, that kind of stuff. So I can zoom in on my snake here. Pretty little thing in it. Zoom back out. And there it goes. Let's see if I can step across to the rock. Get a better look at it. Looks just like a regular water snake to me. Nothing venomous, nothing dangerous. If I can get a better view of it. Well, there we go. There's a zoom. Fortunately, in the video, that's pretty garbage. Let me zoom back out. So anyway, this snake. What are you? I'm gonna step into the water, see if I can get a closer look. Oop, nope. There you go. Other way. Meow. Lost him. Oh, the muddy. Anyway. Snake went in the rocks down there, so we'll leave it be. I'm not sure where the video cut off. It did partially through the filming here, so I'm going to go down here a little bit, and I'm going to make sure that I actually have enough storage in my camera to continue filming. See if there's anything down through here yet. There are copperheads around here, but they're very rare. They used to do something called the Copperhead Roundup down here, and that has since stopped because there just aren't any anymore. Nobody sees them anymore, and they're pretty uncommon. Not to say that they're not here at all, but not a very common snake anymore. So a lot of these walls have spiders in them. I'm not sure if you can see that one or not. It's got a little web there and a little snack it's been eating. A lot of these are orb weavers, but there are some black widows in here as well. Pretty common. Black widows aren't as dangerous as everybody thinks. They're just another spider. And they're very, very afraid of us. They really want nothing to do with us. So, you know, don't have to be afraid of black widows. They're not out to get you. You know, obviously, if you do get bit, seek medical attention unless you're well versed in dealing with spiders. But the venom is painful. I'm not sure what these are. Jumping little beans. What are you? Huh, oh, some kind of water bug, I guess. Jumping little things. I've never seen one quite like that. I'm not sure what that is. Lots of beetles and random other things. The old posts that are sticking out back here. It's actually not that sloppy here, so I'm assuming that it hasn't really been wet all that long. Obviously the locks used to be full of water, but this is just a historical site now. So it's not something that is used anymore. They stopped using them, you know, over 100 years ago. Mainly because they put better train system in. But there could be a little bit of everything up here. Yo. I've found many snakes in the rock walls around here already, so that's always something. Nope. There's an ant. It's an elate, one that is, focus, there we go, has its wings. So that one has just done its nuptial flight and is going to fly off and make a new colony somewhere. Don't eat my pawpaw. So we'll let that one go. And get the camera to refocus. There we go. Alright, well, not seeing as much as I thought I would down here, so let's hop up this way. Set my pawpaw down so I don't accidentally squish it. That is a very easy thing to do. Somebody lost their sunglasses, apparently. There was a water snake down on that end. Yeah. Haven't seen much else. A couple isopods and some weird jumping critters. I'm not sure what they are. I'm assuming like a nymph of a water insect. So what are you seeing up on this end?
There's some neat mosses down here. I mean, there's a little bit down here, but further down there's a lot.
All the old nails and everything. What's that?
There's some interesting stuff happening here.
Yeah.
Well, it's all along this fence row there's a couple different kinds of...
Different mosses and lichens.
Yeah.
In reptile enclosures and stuff like that, you can buy similar moss. They just call it frog moss, but it grows in pads like that. Yeah. And it looks like it's dead, but then it rehydrates and it works again. I wonder if that's a lichen. Yeah, it might be a moss. It's hard to say. If anybody's versed on this stuff, I don't really know. Interesting though. It's very thin. It kind of crumbles.
It's interesting in contrast to this really bright furry tree.
Huh. I'm seeing all kinds of elates crawling around up here. They are the kings and the queens, the ones with the wings. They've gone out for a nuptial flight. I'm not sure what the ones I'm seeing here are. I'm going to assume that they are probably odorous house ants, the most common one in this area anyway. They're kind of a pest species, but they've taken over the territory of literally like all the other ants. So there's not a whole lot otherwise anymore. What was that?
Are they an invasive species? Or?
Yeah. There's rumor that they came from Central and South America, and there's no 100% definite, like, oh, they came from here. But they've been imported and all that stuff over the last, 50 years, and they really got a stronghold in the United States over the last, like, 15, 20.
Just jumped away.
Something. Oh, there it is.
Hey, there you go.
Little toad. Come here. Come back. I don't want to hurt you. Or have you jump off into the abyss. Little tiny toad. They have these, whoop! Oh no! Alright, let's hold you a little better next time. How about that? They will probably pee on me. Toads have these little venom glands on the side of their heads. Can my camera focus on your head? Maybe, maybe not. Come on, Toad, work for me. No, nothing? Really? Why is it not filming? No, it is filming, but I mean it's not focusing.
What if you eliminate the background noise?
There we go. Okay. So, toads, they have these venom glands. Where are you? They're, well, not venom, they're like a kind of a poisonous secretion. It tastes really disgusting to most animals and makes them vomit and that kind of stuff, but yeah. If you squeeze it, it'll, you know, exude some of that white fluid, but I'm not going to stress the thing out any more than it has been. Let's put it back down. Let it just bounce away if it chooses to. Bye-bye. And it did pee on me. That's the other defense, it pees on you. So, it was down into the lock there. Yeah, the snake went along the wall down here. I was walking along here, walking along these, then it went along the wall down here somewhere. So, who doesn't like heights?
It's me leaning over.
Here, I'll show you how high up we actually are. It's only about, I don't know, what do you think, about 15, maybe 18 feet?
Yeah, 30 feet.
So, I mean, these weren't very deep, you know, when they brought the barges over. But they didn't really have to be as long as they worked. So, being big flat bottom barges and all that, carrying all the cargo from Harrisburg and Baltimore and stuff.
You're gonna have to look at this tree.
Hey, sassafras.
Hey, this is the only one that I've ever seen with berries. Like, they have to be at least 10 years old to have berries.
Yeah, they're,
Buds.
was that?
It's like some buds. Looks
Yeah.
good.
You guys
It
can...
doesn't look super healthy right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to... Where's my camera? There we go. Yeah, it's not the healthiest looking tree, but... The, you can see it grows all the way over there. It's a really spindly tree coming down there. Comes all the way up here. Yeah. That's the nice part about them is they can grow viney like that and get all the light that the canopy is covering otherwise. But if you see, they have a couple different kinds of leaves on them. They have these spade shapes, or kind of ovals. They have the three-pronged leaf, and then there's a mitt that is just two. Actually, that's two leaves stuck together. Where's a mitt? There we go. Has just the two on it. And if you crush the leaf and smell it, it smells just like Fruit Loops. But the roots of the young trees, not ones this size, but the very young ones, if they're boiled off, the saffron oil in them and stuff like that is, excuse me, diluted into the whatever water you're using and stuff like that, and it turns this beautiful red color. But that's the base for sarsaparilla and root beer. A little bit of wintergreen thrown in. Again, plants that you can get around here and make. Very, very eastern northeastern United States specifically. Yeah, it's a native tree. It's been harvested forever. Wow, the river is super high right now. Down this way a little bit. So I'm trying to avoid, there's a stinging nettle down here, like I said. Trying to avoid stepping in any. I don't see any at the moment, but it's definitely down here. There's poison oak and sumac and stuff like that. And then there's staghorn sumac, which you can harvest and turn into a lemonade, which is delicious. All kinds of wash debris. We had a lot of flooding down here. That's one of the reasons why I haven't made a video lately. It wouldn't stop raining. We've had like probably a month of straight rain, like every single day. So it's one of those things where it's been really kind of rough around here. A lot of the plants have suffered. My gardens suffered really badly. from the flooding. Hardly anything has actually worked for the garden. The tobacco plants actually love water, so they did okay. Nothing else really did though, so that's one of the problems that comes into growing when you have just torrential downpours. We have another couple hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean coming through, so I don't know if any of them are going to hit us or not, but they're definitely around. Very washed out right now. This is normally dry down here, so you can kind of get an idea. I'll try to get around here to the one side in a minute so I can show you guys the dam. The dam is what actually causes this water to go up and down. It's not so much the flooding. This is a very controlled water system down here. Now if it does flood, obviously it'll go over the spillways and come down into the dam and come down into the waters below pretty quickly, but yeah, you got to be very careful with the water around here, because it can come up very fast and really ruin your day. Ooh, that is cold. Crikey. Ugh. Holy cow. That water is chilly. So, this little sandbar over here. Oh, hey, look, a tetanus trap. All those nails sticking up. Let's flip that over so nobody does step on it, because that'd be pretty awful. Looks like a part of a stairwell, probably from a dock or something like that. See if we can find anything interesting over here. It's hard to say if anything's going to be here because this has been washed out so much. So there's some driftwood down here, obviously, and I don't know what's been recent and what hasn't been. There's some very little critters running around on the sand here, but I can't really see what they are. This isn't really all mud. I mean, it is, but there's a lot of mud here, but there's also a sandy silt that is washed up, and that's pretty regular down here. This is very high right now. Normally I'd be able to walk out another 50 feet. Sometimes when it's real low and they don't let the waters over, you can walk all the way out. You see that bridge over there? You can walk all the way out to that island that is way out there. About 3/4 of a mile or half a mile, something like that. So that's pretty neat to be able to do that. You do want to be wary though, because if you hear those sirens, that means that water is coming up quick. So you better move your butt. A lot of detritus and junk and everything else that's been washed up down here, but nothing really that says, hey, come check me out. There's a lot of debris right there, but I'm not going to mess with that at the moment. And I want to get down to the other side. Check that out. Oh, there's something neat. It's a pretty large fish backbone. It's still articulated, which is interesting. So the bone is connected, but there's not a little bit of tendon in there yet. Don't know what kind of fish this is. Very possible there's a catfish. Could be a shad, like a very large shad. But I'm not sure. But it's definitely a fish. You can tell by the way that the vertebrae are put together. Don't know what kind though. That's all. Here's some of these fishing lure. All kinds of stuff washes up down here. Sometimes you find some really cool stuff. Definitely found some interesting little treasures, and every once in a while you run across some artifacts and stuff from the native people, the Susquehannock and the Conestoga that used to live in this area. The natives that currently live here, like my sister for instance, are definitely aware of all the stuff that's around here, and a very, very modern movement to kind of protect it and stuff like that. There hasn't been a lot of protection for native peoples or artifacts or anything like that in Pennsylvania. Just recently they even admitted that they live here. So Pennsylvania kind of sucks for that. But they're working on it. So here's something neat. This is a skull to catfish. How do I know? Catfish skulls. Neat. So these are really all that's left. There's usually a little plate out front here and stuff like that, but that's what's left of a catfish's skull. And since they get pretty large down here, I mean, I've caught them myself over 40 inches. You can get a lot of big skulls and bones and other bits and bobs down here. Alright, let me see if I can get up across here and show you guys the plastic. See if I can show you guys the dam that is currently causing the water to be so excessively high. Oh, that water's cold. Woo! Oh, right up my knees. Woo! Dang. I mean, obviously that's not a natural wall right there, so somebody used to use this down here. I don't know if it was part of the lock system or what, but it definitely has been worked by man. See if we can get back up here. Alright, back up top. Trying to avoid poison as well while I'm walking around here. I don't know what that wooden frame was for. It's weird. Skip around here. There's a bigger toad. Well, let me catch him on the camera. Where is he? There he is. Right there. Big dude. Scare you off. Go. There you go. Had to poke him from the move. Lots of toads down here. Taking advantage of the waterways and all the food and everything that's available to them down here. Lots and lots of invertebrates. Small things, even small crustaceans are on the menu for them. Yo, that's spiky. Okay. So not all that successful for finding pawpaws anyway. But not even that many insects. I'm just wandering around. Love the river. It's really fun to come to. It's very peaceful. A lot of really neat stuff to find and dig through, and various junk everywhere. Down here a little bit. Ow. It's my shin. You guys may or may not notice that I'm very ill prepared for walking in the woods. Most of the time I'm wearing shorts and like water shoes and sandals and other random things, and I just always have done that. It doesn't seem to bother me much. That's how I do most of my hiking, is in poor footwear. Not as many bones and random things down here as I expected to find, but again, with the water, it's hard to say what's actually down here right now. A lot of plastic. Rotting out logs. Get up over here. So way up in the distance up there, you can see kind of through the trees there, is the Holtwood Dam. And that is what is controlling the flow of this water down here. There's a lot of Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, the Asian tiger mosquitoes, and various other annoyances down here trying to eat me. Sorry, I keep swatting around. But the reason this water is so high is because they have the dam opened really far right now, just because of all the rain we've been getting. So that's been trying to control the flooding by doing that. Let's get down this way. So, because of how my... Oops, somebody lost a fishing rod. Because of how my camera films, this may be uploaded into segments over the next couple days. So if it just cuts off randomly, I apologize, but that's just how I'm going to have to do it until I get some editing software, which all of that costs money, and I also don't know how to use any of it, so that's another thing that I have to learn, is how to do editing. So I have literally no idea. I don't even know how to do a splash page on YouTube, so my videos are just whatever YouTube automatically selects as their main image. Hopefully I figured that stuff out and I'm able to put some, quality editing into these and make them a little less haphazard, but at least I have a harness now, so my hands are both free. I can adjust the focus a lot easier, even though it may not have been the best the way that it was working today, but I think overall it did okay. So, get over here. Slipping and falling everywhere. Gonna go around, try to find a few more pawpaws if possible, but I think we're gonna cut it off there. And thanks everybody for joining me, and Jess, wherever she may be, I'll go find her in a minute. And I'll talk to y'all later. See you, everybody.